Okay, we're gonna redo this bottle, removing the Earthling text from it and replacing it with a Arabesh hand font, something that'll work in the Star Wars Combine, and you can make into a custom item. So what I'm doing here is loading up a selection that I made earlier from the outline of the bottle, so I can get rid of that reflection down beneath it, because I've had bottles get rejected by the art team before because they have a reflection underneath. That's not good. So I actually made this video a little while ago earlier, and now I'm talking over it because I didn't get the sound the first time, which is kind of a bummer because it's a long video, 25 minutes. I messed up a couple times, but it's fun to watch, maybe. Okay, so now we're going to get down to business with this, zooming into the bottle and taking samples from parts of the bottle without text and pasting those over the text. So you can see I'm taking a selection from as close as possible to the text that I can get on the bottle, from the same exact vertical area, since the reflections coming off of the gold bottle are going to change the color of the pixels underneath them. And once I'm happy with the area I have selected with the rectangular marquee tool, I'm going to make sure I'm on the layer that has the bottle image, and then hit Control C to copy. And from now on, when I do that, I'm going to say copy, and that means I'm hitting Control C. Then I move the rectangular marquee tool to where I want to paste the pixels, and then I hit Control V to paste. Then I reselect by holding Shift Control and hitting D to get my rectangle up. Now when I was doing this, I kept forgetting to merge the layers or go back to the bottle layer, so I pasted on wrong a few times. Now you can see some horizontal lines there where I pasted, because the bottle looked different at that height than from where I copied it from. So what I do is select the smudge tool, increase the strength a little bit since those lines aren't that easy to see, and use a size 20 diameter brush with the smudge tool to fix those lines. The first time I did it, it was on the wrong layer. It wasn't on the so what I did is go up and click the Use All Layers button, which worked. And now I'm just going up and down with this smudge tool, making sure to be vertical with my strokes. It doesn't matter if you're going down or up in this instance, as long as you're vertical one way or the other. And that's about as good as it's going to get, so we are going to move down to the bottom. And you see I stayed on the layer that I used to fix the neck of the bottle. That's a mistake that I made, and you're going to see the results of it in just a minute. I'm using the navigator to zoom and move around. Now I grab the rectangular marquee again. select that area beneath root. Oh, I changed my layer. I copied, moved up, paste, reselect, move up a little bit more to get that little piece of the B, paste that. Now I need a new selection. Making sure not to get any of the darker colored pixels, so when it's necessary I'll copy and paste twice over the same word. There's my mistake. It's not a big deal, but it takes me a couple minutes to fix. So now I go down, try to grab another piece, but since I'm on the wrong layer, nothing gets copied because that layer is empty in that region. And now I accidentally delete the wrong layer. I delete layer 5 and put it in the trash there. Do I delete layer 4 too? But I was able to undo the delete by holding Control and hitting C. And you can undo multiple steps in your history by holding Alt, Control, and hitting C as many times as you wish, or as many times up to a certain point. It's something like 8 to 10 times steps that you can go back and undo. You can also use your history pane to only undo certain steps. Alright, so now we're ready to get started again by copying and pasting over Bottega here, and I believe it moves pretty quickly from here. Alright, cut and paste, reselect, move, cut and paste again. Make another selection, making sure to merge our layers. You can use layer. You have to link the layer first. So in this case, I'm linking the other layers to layer 1, and then hitting either Control E or going to layer merge linked. Control E is a shortcut that's faster. You can see I messed up there again. Did the same thing. And at this point I just get fed up with it and put those layers in a folder so that I don't do that again. Okay, guess I'm glad that didn't record the sound. That's a pretty annoying sound. Paste. Copy and paste again, reselect, We don't really have to reselect. We need a new selection. The one that goes under Vino. Got that. Copied. Paste. I hope that doesn't mean my microphone's broken. Those sounds that are coming from this video. This is my first time watching it. I'm just now watching it and talking over. Hope it's not broken. This little piece of junk microphone has lasted me like 10 years. When you're making a rectangular marquee selection like that, you can hold the space bar to move your selection rather than making it larger and smaller. Pasting there, reselecting, moving it up with the arrow key, reselecting again, and then now at this point I can't decide whether to delete that droplet, so I skip a little bit of the video because I did wind up deciding to delete it, and it's just another episode of the same thing. So rectangular selection, copy, move it on top of that, and paste. And you can see this this droplet, whatever that is, I'm going to be laying this text over. It looks so good that I don't really even need to use the smudge tool on it, and I don't, because you can't really tell that those letters were ever there. Now I make a folder, making sure to put the layer 2 above layer 1, which is the bottle layer, and I close that folder so where you can't mess with it. You can lock that too by clicking on the little padlock image in the layers panel, but I didn't do that. Now we're going to start working with the text, and trying to use that one, I immediately realized that it's going to be hard to do, but I'm trying to use I try to use the transform tools to see if I can warp them so where they're uneven like that droplet is, but it doesn't turn out working. So what I wind up doing is doing the letters over again, all on different layers. I'm trying to use the transform skew. But it doesn't do what I want it to. So I didn't delete that layer of text. I just clicked on the eyeball to hide it. I do wind up deleting it later. Now I'm doing the letters, which are, they're my character's last name, Bois. Actually, it's French for grapes. And I'm putting them all on separate layers so I can move them independent from each other for now. And then I link all those layers. And then I distribute them evenly vertically using layer, distribute linked, vertical centers. So that makes an even space between the center of each digit. Now I'll do some moving. until my B, which is the little eye looking thing at the top, is in the right place. So I probably won't have to move that one. And I can just go right to the O. Which is, you can see the O and the I look similar to their English counterparts. Now I need to unlink in order to move these layers individually. And I'm also going to, I decided to rotate the layers a little bit using free transform, which you can access that little free transform box by holding control and hitting T. And then to rotate it, you just click and drag the mouse somewhere outside the circle. At this point, I did it pretty high up on the screen, almost where the document ends. Looks like now we're going to the I. Not the eyeball looking I, but the actual letter I. It looks like it needs to be moved a couple spaces to the left and then rotated slightly clockwise, which that's what I do here. And now the S. Now I zoom out and take a look. Oh, that's right, I do the bevel. This takes a while. I was wondering why this video winds up being so long. So I'm going to right click. Well, first I merged all those layers. That's why you see only one layer that says B. I merged all the text together so I can apply this bevel to all of them at the same time. And this takes a while. Basically, I'm going through all these different gloss contours and fooling with the depth and size of the bevel, trying to find something that looks good. I was really looking for something that looks more etched into the bottle rather than sticking out like most of these bevels look like. Let's see what I wound up with. There we go. At this point I was trying to highlight the text, and I deleted that layer of the text that I wound up not using. Finally, we're going to go up top to the neck of the bottle. Apply some text to it. I'm using the Arabic narrow font for this at 36 point. And we're just gonna modify that text a little bit using the warp text tool. That's the T in the horizontal panel up top. I'm gonna select arch. Even though it arches downward, you still select arch. And then you turn the bend down so where it's arching down the way you want. And you can do that with the up and down arrow keys too once you start adjusting the bend if you want a little bit more precision. And I do a little bit of vertical distortion. That's too much, but just 1 or 2 degrees is the most. But if you're doing a downward arch on something like a bottle at a higher angle with more arch, you'll need a little bit more negative vertical distortion, so where the letters look a little bit bigger on the top. Now I'm just going to apply a bevel to this text and we'll be done. It's like chisel hard for the bevel effect. Just fool with the depth and size settings of it a little, and set the highlight color to the gold color. I use the eyedropper tool to select a gold pixel from the bottle. Fool with the depth one more time. I should zoom out and that should be it. Ready to go combine. It just needs to be resized and then saved in the 400, 300 and the framed version. So thanks a lot, guys, and hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something. Tune in next time if there is one.